Hey guys, this is Mauisnake doing the final episode in my pro player analysis series for this ELEAGUE Major, and I'm gonna be finishing off with coldzera, the number one player rated by HLTV, just completely dominant player, insanely consistent, insanely talented, probably one of the best counter-terrorist players in all of Counter Strike right now. Probably one of the best. He's one of the most consistent players. Just incredibly strong at every weapon. I don't think there's a player right now that's matching him in consistency and skill. I'll bring up this consistency chart that I've used before and referenced in the past. As you can see, coldzera is just way at the top there, top right. His sample size is huge. I think Skadoodle might be edging him in consistency, but Skadoodle is actually a below average rated player. So for rating and consistency, he's just in another realm. Him, Magic Boy, and Device just like completely blowing everyone else out of the water. But coldzera is even more consistent than the other consistent players. Even if they're consistently bad, like Skadoodle, he is like matched that, but is incredibly strong. Higher rating than Simple in big events, and more consistent. Like you can't ask for much more. This guy is a rock, and he just wrecks everyone. So what I wanted to go over was, well, I'll just go through the overview of him again. He's from Brazil, 22 years old, played for SK throughout 2016, LG also known as LG, or were known as LG, Luminosity, and posted an insane 1.24 rating for the year. Just incredible, so crazy. Was the MVP of both majors, and so I'm going to be going over SK playing NaVi in the last time they won a train game in their, what I want to say is like a 16 game streak where they just completely just so totally blowing everyone out of the water with it. Their train was just immaculate. And it came from their CT side for the most part. They blew G2 out of the water again. Like, they beat them 16-0 one time. Just incredible stuff coming out of them all the time. And starting on T side here. So, switch to coldzera. So actually, what I was more interested in from coldzera for this video is actually how he plays his T sides. I think everyone knows without a doubt that he is one of the nuttiest counter-terrorist CT players in the world. One of the reasons SK was so dominant throughout the year was that their CT sides were crazy. I think a lot of teams put a lot of thought into how they play terror side. They come up with really good strats, really good fakes. They have good routes for their players to go through. Great shot already. But what a lot of teams have lacked is a great CT side, and can't really do too much there. He was in a really tough situation, like a 1v4 there. The fact that he was able to get one kill was pretty good, and decides to buy a scout second round. So I wanted to go over just kind of how coldzera plays the T sides of train. I'm gonna get to the CT side too, which I think is probably more impressive, but definitely just something you don't see more. I'd say you don't see as many coldzera terrorist highlights as you see him playing CT side. Just jumping double op. He gets sometimes pretty aggressive on CT side. I remember one game during the regular season of Pro League against Complexity, he just kept pushing mid every round and just kept showing them no respect. But these are the things he does on CT side. And T side, he can be I don't know, he's a little bit of an enigma to me. So he's kind of going for a support scout play here, and gets two really good kills there. And these are kind of the positions you would put. Oh, he kind of blocks fall in there. But that's a position you would put like a support opper on that kind of strat, where he's just watching for all the people to run out against him and potentially get kills there. But instead he does it with the scout and gets 2 really nice headshots. Almost wins the round for them, but then he actually his movement blocks fall in there, and he's not able to. They're not able to close it out. I think if his movement might have been better, they might have actually just straight up won that round. But now they're just kind of going for little bit of an inner fake, not putting too much aggression towards anything, and then just kind of going outside trying to get a bomb plant. It's not really a big round for them. They already forced the previous round. They're just trying to do a little bit of damage or something, get a bomb plant. So every round he's gone towards inner. Seems to be his position in their default. Using the Fire Serpent AK, and it's got those cool like hollow stickers on it. And he gets a pretty good kill there, but the rest of the strat fell apart pretty hard, so not much else you can do. He also uses the most accurate deagle in the game, the Blaze. I think everyone knows that this deagle is programmed to be more accurate than other deagles. Every time you see a pro with a Blaze deagle, you expect them to get at least several kills with it. Just really precise headshots. So I think right there he tried to like do a timing play with the smoke. I think he knew actually the time that it was going to evaporate, and what that allows you to do is you see out of the smoke, and if you're looking in a certain direction as he was there, you can see on your radar right then and there. As soon as the smoke starts to evaporate, you can see on the radar if someone's like where you're looking. So he might have been looking at the radar, the top left, trying to just get a spam shot or something off. There's not much he can do there in general. It's a 2v5 and he has a deagle, but might have been trying to make like a radar play there. Just using one of the little features of CSGO against the enemies. So it kind of seems like he's actually a support player for SK, like kind of like watching flanks, making sure the round goes according to plan. In one of my episodes of How to Watch Demos series, I talked about how you need to designate certain players to be the clutch in a lot of situations, and I am sure that coldzera is one of the players that Fallen feels comfortable putting in the clutch situations here, just kind of being the last guy to hold the bomb, playing those, just basically holding. That's when basically you don't have to do like aggressive plays as a terrorist. You can just kind of hold a spot. He's responsible for trading, getting the trade kills in a strat sometimes, but most of the time he's just going to be the last guy in. That strat went entirely according to plan, and it ended with coldzera just kind of watching the flank there. So now he has an op, and I'm kind of interested what he's going to do with this. Looks like he's going for a really quick ladder play. So first he watches to see if anyone pushes him, and if it seems like it's just kind of an uncommon play to send an op to ladder. So generally could catch someone off guard like that if they actually someone ended up pushing there. I think he probably wanted to take some kind of peek there, but the Molotov impeded that. So he peeks out just a little too far, trying to get that smoke down. Would have helped his team get on the bomb site. Kind of like an improvised exec kind of thing, where they smoke both sides of the train. That's just really sick, like improv by SK. I'm pretty sure they just kind of wanted to get on the bomb site there, but the second layer of smokes, or how they smoked, even though like the execute totally already happened, was just good coordination coming out of them. Something you expect from a world-class team like SK. Now they're going for the pretty typical wall of smoke strat. They might do something different with it. It seems to be like he's... Okay. So after he throws the smoke, he just goes to ladder. Looks like he's going to help out Fur and Taco, who are already out. this is kind of a weird, like, second stage kind of play. Again, like, he's playing the clutch, though, already. Like, the strat went according to plan. They got the bomb down. And now coldzera is, like, tasked with being this last guy at ladder. He's just watching the flank, really. Making sure that no one comes from ladder, also. And he basically had no intention to even, like, go towards the bomb side, it seems like, unless this thing started getting out of hand for his teammates that got onto it in the first place. Throws a Molotov just right on the bomb, make sure no one gets to it. Just buys them some time. I think he did it a little early, though, in the round. But what's really nice is that Fur has a second Molotov, so he could throw it himself, too, if it's needed. But ends up not needing to throw it. Kind of like a calculated decision to secure the round. You really just start needing to... I mean, you just need rounds. Even though your CT side is so dominant, you really just need a couple rounds to make sure that you have a little room for error going into the CT half. So that's just like a round secured kind of play. It's not really like... I don't think it was necessary. I don't think he thought it was necessary, but he knows the round is secured if he throws that Molotov. So it seems like SK wanted to go for a similar strat there. What I might see out of a lot of players is just for them to push that smoke. I think they kind of see how his teammates need help, and is just gonna peek out of that smoke. But I think coldzera knows that if he peeks the smoke peeks that angle after the smoke goes away, it's also an ensured kill. And I don't know. It's kind of like a risk versus reward thing. The risk out of pushing the smoke is that you might just die and not get anything done. But if you push the smoke as it's fading, you can probably get a kill because people aren't usually going to be watching it until it's faded like that. There's just too much going on for someone to keep an eye on it. So a fake play coming out of SK. Yeah, the Blazed Eagle, you're just gonna get headshots with it. It's just a fact. It's just like a lot easier. It's got like homing bullets. Oh my god. Oh my god, he actually won that. So coldzera is just like the master of playing these angles. Like, I didn't know he was actually gonna win that. I haven't seen this before, but that was insane. He never... What a lot of people have problems with in the micro decisions is that they'll get a kill somewhere and then they'll just kind of like instantly swing out wide on another angle. And coldzera was so calm and so patient there. That's something you rarely see out of players, no matter what level. Like if he gets a kill, I'm just gonna go back to that. If he gets a kill here, like usually he's just like, okay, I gotta check this now. But what he did instead is he like just calmly kind of like peeked things, didn't overstay his welcome anywhere, didn't over peek at all, and he was able to take down a 1v4 there. Or maybe Fallen was able to get one, so it might have been a 1v3, but it was like a 2v4, and they only had pistols? That's insane. Oh man, if he didn't jump there, he would have got that kill earlier. Still ended up getting it, but I think he knew the timings, but he got a little antsy with the jump there, but... Yeah, this is why you put coldzera as the clutch for these kind of things. He's not gonna get those like I'm sure he's capable of getting those kind of entry frags, but they just know how valuable he is in those kind of 1x like coldzera v X situations. Just completely outplayed NaVi there. Still so impressed by that. I didn't even know if he had any kind of highlight plays in this game, but he's already just coming up huge with like some of these rounds. 9-9. He's the only person on his team that's positive. He ends up having the best rating in this game, and like all these games I'm trying to get, SK do end up winning. It's the last game in their run before I think is it Astralis or something end up beating them on train. First team to beat them in around a year. So it's another reason why people think Astralis are the favorite team for the major. I think SK have a decent shot at making a run, but without FNX and with Fox instead, I think their dynamics have shifted a little bit. They haven't looked as solid lately. They're still making good runs, but it's just even one player switch can just kind of make a world of a difference. Just because like as good if Fox even were like simple instead of FNX, it might even be worse. Just because FNX just the dynamic when you're switching players is just huge. So coldzera again, not the entry fragger. Ends up being the bomb planner, and they are able to take the side with him just trading out. It seemed like most of the action happened before he was even able to like really do anything, but it's kind of weird they're typing their money out in public. I don't know exactly what the error was there, but I guess they had to do that for admin purposes. Maybe it's like an ELEAGUE commercial break or something. Well, there's some kind of error, which is why they went to commercial break, but yeah. Oh, jeez. He almost got that kill. That's crazy. And he goes down with 5 bullets and actually one-tap simple. He didn't get the headshot, but like that is such confidence to not reload there and to just push down with 5 bullets. I mean he's got a lot of info that simple's lit up and whatnot, but yeah, just that's crazy. Just run down like that. You like this set flash right here to get people down. There's another way to do this that Launder shows in one of his videos to get a pop flash that's right at the entrance right there, but this is kind of a safer play, so the first guy can keep his gun out. So this seems kind of more like a fake right now, just based off of the positions of everyone. Throwing a lot for an inner exec and sending Fur down is going to distract the CTs enough. If he can get a couple kills inside too, that's huge. I just kind of want to see what he's doing because coldzera is doing nothing right now. So yeah, he's just trying to aggress. And I think NaVi though are going to catch wind of this being a fake. So what you could do is like double fake it like that. But since they don't have any smokes or anything, and they know that an op is towards B, it's kind of it's not really a wise idea to just kind of push out and try to contest that. Now coldzera's in a 1v3. Looks like he's already done for though. C's is about to flank him, so he's gonna get knifed. Oh. Really tough situation for him. It's gonna happen though when you're the last player alive. You don't have much information. You just kind of have to go based off of a guess. Just kind of hope for the best. So their default always puts him towards inner. And he goes through this pretty methodically. I think that's something SK does really well, is they take control with resources and not really even taking many risks in the beginning of rounds. They just go through everything really cleanly. I think they have that down for every map that they're comfortable for. Like there's like 4 or 5 maps that they really like, and actually they have a pretty deep map pool in general, and they have a really methodical way of going about everything. They have set flashes for basically everything. That flash that goes down there is so perfect that it's not even like going past this white train. A lot of people, when they run down, they're just going to throw a right click, then jump, and then kind of like jump down. But what this flash does is it lands perfectly right here, so that if anyone's playing close up or like on the train or like even like on the white train right here, it's not gonna. You can't really dodge that. I mean, you can dodge it only by like turning, but you can't like. You're not gonna dodge it if you're here, because that's gonna perfectly pop flash you. If you're here, it'll perfectly pop flash you. It's really effective, well thought out. And now coldzera is actually the entry fragger, which is something you don't see very often. I'm a little surprised it was actually him going first there. I think the ordering might have been messed up based off of just kind of how they moved into positions there. I think they usually should just stick with what they're comfortable with, though. I don't think there was any reason to put him first there, but it kind of it's one of those things. So like when I was talking about why ELEAGUE is really effective, he kind of like always changes the little motions he goes through, despite it being the same motions over and over again. And you get that kind of natural variance when you send a different player first. So sending a player that usually would be like last first, they're gonna go about things in probably a little less efficient way, but in like a different way. And that different way is like often enough to just like get an opening pick or something like that that the CT won't be used to. They're used to the entry fragger coming out. They've seen them at least a few rounds already go through these same motions, and unless Taco, who's normally their entry fragger, is going to change up his play in that last round, it's likely just going to be the same thing, that steady diet that NaVi's been used to already. So it looks like NaVi, you're going to go for an interplay, and coldzera seems to be the only one responsible for inter right now, just holding B by himself. This is a pretty cool angle he's got here. It's super easy for him to get killed if they come out lower, but it at least gives him like kind of a surprise factor if they come out upper. He can just turn and headshot him, and he's super strong at playing these like tight angles. Like when he got that clutch on this bomb train, he was just here and then barely peeked out far enough to get like another kill here, then was able to move around and like just he's really precise with his movement. I think people know that he's a super strong player, but after watching this already, I can say with certainty that he's probably got some of the best movement in the game too. Just super aware of angles. And he might catch Guardian here. Does. Really patient retake coming out of him and Taco. And he has 13 health and gets 2 kills without getting touched. That's just kind of, it's a tough situation for Flamey there. I think that's who it was, but just extra impressive by Cold to not get touched. All he did was walk down the ladder, and Guardian just wasn't looking the right way. But there's kind of like a sixth sense there about timings that he might be employing. I can't even tell exactly the way he was able to. So usually when the bomb is planted there, right on this side, the clutch spot is most of the time right here for a terrorist, and Cold kind of knows that, so that's why he's holding this angle. That's why he's kind of keeps checking there. It's a little surprising that they didn't even like try to tap the bomb or anything, but what that does is when you tap the bomb, you actually give Flamey a very brief but not insignificant 1v1 where he knows exactly where one of the players is, and instead him and Taco just decide to gun it out and just make it a constant 2v1. They knew they had the time. Great patience by them, or great kind of just like time management by them. A lot of people might rush into it, but Cold was very clean with his movement. He knew exactly how much time he had. He was just very on top of the situation. And him and Taco were somehow able to bring back what was pretty much like a 2v4 or a 2v5. Probably 2v4. Now Cold has actually moved to Ivy for this round. I think they might have put him inner just because he had the best spawn to peek upper, and It's not like super important or anything, but on anti-ecos you can change your setup a little bit. And one thing that SK love to do, one of the reasons they're masters of train, is they don't allow other teams to take control of Ivy ever. They very, very rarely decide to give that up to anyone. So him and Fallen had like a nice two-man game towards Ivy that round. Medic? Can we take headsets off ears? Okay, so already you're seeing kind of like some of the ways they get Ivy control really effectively is that they didn't just throw a single pop flash like a lot of teams would do in order to get it. They actually put two pop flashes out. Because usually what'll happen is one terrorist is going to be playing like close and just looking, and the second one is going to be playing like counter flash position. And instead of doing that, they throw two, so even the guy that's playing counter flash would turn around there. And he would get flashed as well. That's next level thinking. Really next level. And one of the reasons they do like, or they're really good at holding Ivy is because they're putting coldzera at Ivy. A lot of coldzera highlights on train have been him just kind of playing this spot this area right here. It's a really good spot, despite it being like kind of a lot to manage sometimes. You can just sit here and just mow down terrorists as they're coming out. It's kind of a weird angle to peek sometimes. You have to swing out pretty wide. Plus, if he plays like right here, they have to swing out pretty wide, and the geometry is not really that much in the terrorist's favor. It's a little bit in their favor, but not significant, I would say. It's relatively similar distance. So I don't think coldzera is getting anything there. What I mean by geometry is, so if two people are peeping the same angle, so let's say like someone's right here, someone is right here, and someone is right here, the person with the farther away from this corner's angle is like going to have a better view of the other person. This has been explained in a lot of videos better than I can explain it, but basically the person that's farther away has the advantage because they can see like your arm and your shoulder before you can see them. The person that's closer to the wall just can't see it. It's kind of like if you have good spatial recognition, you might be able to just envision this, but there's like a lot of videos that cover this topic in Counter-Strike and how you should usually peek with like, you should peek like, if you wanted to peek Ivy, you should peek like far back as opposed to peeking close. Because right now if you're here, you can't see anything, but your arm is sticking out. But if you're back here, your arm would be sticking out, but barely. Or like by the time they can see it sticking out, you're generally going to be able to see them. So not much happening for coldzera yet. It's a wall of smoke strategy. The rest of his team's taking care of business. And I don't think he's going to... He might not have to do anything this round. NaVi finally getting out after stopping that early wall aggression. Or after SK stops that early wall aggression. And now coldzera is kind of like in kind of a rotator spot where he kind of can choose which fights he wants to take or help out. I knew a guy was Ivy, and I think Fallen has put so much pressure on Ivy in the past that they know that if they can shut down Ivy, it's just a one-on-one with a guy that's like in the middle of all of A. And now Cold's kind of in his favorite spot on the map, that CT hell spot. And you can't really hear it. You can't really hear it, but there were sound cues that Edward was moving there. I think he was running. Great patience coming out of Cold there. Just moving around all the trains. Instead of getting too hasty and trying to stop the bomb plant by pushing through here, he gives himself again, he thinks about the geometry, it feels like, when he's like going through for these engagements. He knows that he'll get this slight advantage if he peeks far off like this, or if whoever's the last person for NaVi, if they're planning here, then he's just gonna kill them in the side. But if he peeks from the sandwich area, and peeks out like this, then the person might just be holding him. They're at a headshot angle. It's a really favorable fight for them. Instead, he decides to go all the way around, and he had better geometry for the entire fight. Little just like plays like that, constantly keeping in mind geometry and how much it helps you is something it seems like coldzera definitely does. He's so clean around these like tight angles and things like that, and even on a macro, like a slightly more macro scale, going all the way around as opposed to going all the way around like this instead of going like this. Just like that's like a more macro decision, but it's kind of like a in between macro and macro and micro from my point of view. I don't know. It's kind of hard to. It's just positioning and movement are really clean. So, coldzera doing a little Snacks play there. Something I noted in the Snacks video is that every time Snacks gets a kill, he likes to move to a new spot. So coldzera there gets a pick right here and doesn't allow himself to get traded. Instead of just kind of holding the spot, try to go for a second one, he just moves to the other side of the train. It makes it so that the comms from NaVi would be like, he's on bomb train right side, now it's bomb train left side. A little crosshair disruption there, just like changing his positioning and whatnot, leads him to a second, or I guess it's his third kill of the round. An easy third kill. He didn't even get shot back at. He didn't even have a chance to react to him. Really gambly play to try to pre-fire there. I guess he thought they were close to him, and that might work out some of the time, but he like did it really early without seeing him. But that's like him being aware of his lack of like proper geometry there is just crazy. Like, I think the reason he pre-fires there is because he knows he's at a disadvantage. He knows that if he peeks this, they have a better angle than him. They're going to see his arm before he does, so the only way to compensate for that is by pre-firing. I haven't seen him do much pre-firing this entire game, and the one time he does it, it's when he has like significantly worse geometry in that fight. That's just really good awareness of not only this game and the engine behind it, or like just the models and how the hitboxes and everything, but like his position. Like, he's so comfortable here. I don't think many people would make that same play if they weren't super comfortable in Ivy and knew what they kind of needed to do. He's probably taken this fight a bunch of times, found himself in this kind of crappy spot, and knows that he needs to pre-fire it to get himself out of it. And he's actually able to get a single kill there before he's taken out. And because Fallen and him put so much pressure towards Ivy, it ended up with them being able to close that out pretty cleanly. Doesn't look like much is going on, so I'm fast forwarding. I do want to see how he rotates though. So ends up getting a late lurk kill on C's. There wasn't really much to say about that. He's just kind of holding far back, and C's really just wide peek there and just kind of died. But okay, so coldzera decides to rotate through back halls, and now he's. I think he had a pretty general idea from calls and whatnot where the last two members were. It's pretty easy to commit that hard to it when you know they have 10 seconds left and they have to try to plant the bomb. So he's just trying to stop that from happening. Holding that cross area. He wide peeked there, but I mean, he knows that they need to cross. So if he has that kind of information, it's a pretty easy decision. He just walks to his death there. I feel like at this level, like, you can't just walk through it. I mean, against coldzera, are you really gonna walk through a smoke like that? Like, that is just crazy. That's insane. And now Cold decides to get aggressive with this. I think Uh, I guess they're probably hearing maybe Navi moving back like that, and now he's getting some pretty valuable intel just holding this position. He saw some of them go towards T-Con, and now he can throw this smoke here, which is like, now he basically controls all of this area. And now Navi are so limited in their like decision, in their possibilities, that this round is basically over. Pretty much a round-winning smoke. The round might have been over before then, but like now it's like they are stuck. They have no options at all. So even if he like threw that smoke and died, I think Navi is still going to be hesitant about pushing through it because there could be another player there. Just another really heads-up play. Good like, just like awareness of utility usage, of what to do with it. Oh my god. Perfect spray down, pretty much. That might be it. Well, spoiler, it is it. That's all she wrote. So, okay. So going over coldzera. So T side, he's like the clutch. He's rarely ever the entry, unless I feel like it was called for there. For I think Fallen said, "Hey, go first this time." Just like mix things up, do a little mix up against Navi. You're pretty used to Taco going first, so let's just try you going first. So that's probably the only reason he went first on one of those rounds. Other than that, I think he's going to be that clutch guy, which I've explained before, where like one guy is designated to be that last guy in like a post-plant situation who's going to close the round out for you. And I mean, we like that one Deagle round, it was just flawless from Cold. Peaked everything perfectly, got 3 kills, was able to hold off the last guy for long enough that it didn't even matter. Instead of like constant, like, and he's not an emotional player. It seems like when he gets these kills, he's not just like, oh, I'm feeling the momentum, I'm just gotta keep fighting or anything like that. He's just like, okay, I got a kill. What's my next step? And he already knows what his next step is, like before this is even gonna happen. He's just like, get a kill. Now I gotta slow down, take this peek how I'm supposed to, get this kill. Okay. I saw someone there, so now I'm going to take another peek, get a kill there how I'm supposed to. He just does everything in such a clean manner. His movement is so precise. He's not over-peeking ever when he's not supposed to be. He's just really, really comfortable in these like 1-on-4 situations. Like, I mean, any kind of like clutch situation, it still seems like he has a chance. It's crazy. And okay, so I'll just go from the top. So T side, just it seemed like he had. Wait, did he have resources or? I don't know. The beginning of their T side was pretty bad actually, but in this game he just uses the AK and the M4 for most of these rounds. He uses the A4 for his spot. I think at Ivy it's really important to use the A4 over the A1S because if they're just rushing you, you need to spray them all down. And 20 bullets is not enough sometimes. Even though the spray control is easier for the A1S, you really just need those 30 bullets to do all the damage, and you need that fire rate to kill them all. If they're pushing your smoke, you just need to mow them down. You need to be able to do that, and the A1S sometimes cannot do that. So I think that's why he prefers the A4. I'm not sure if he switches from map to map, whether he uses the A1S sometimes, A4 other times. He's had the A1S because he was dropped by Fur in one of the rounds. But for the most part, I think he's probably an A4 player. He seems to be the anchor at most of the spots he plays. But other things, his timing is impeccable. When he had that 2-on-4 with Taco, where they were retaking on pistol round, his movement, his awareness of like angles and the situation, and his game sense is just so on point that he can like get these flanks off that you don't think should even be like happening. He gets he makes pushes really precisely. He just seems so on point all the time. Like I feel like this guy is not only in the DMs all night and all day, which I've seen him in. I've actually like played DMs at like I'm in Hawaii time and I'm like playing at like midnight my time, and I've seen him on at like 5 a.m. So he was like on the West Coast one time for a tournament, and so he was on at 5 a.m. deathmatching. Like, that's insane. That's crazy. I don't even. Anyway, I looked and it was his Steam profile, and like one time on Twitter, Fallen was posting like it's like 3 a.m. All the older fellas are going to bed, but coldzera is still going at it, #1 player in the world or something like that. And it was like, this guy's a monster. He's got the drive. He's got the game sense. He puts in so much time, and he's got a leader like Fallen. Like this guy was so set up to be successful. Like I mean, he put himself in this position from putting in all this time and whatnot, and it's just totally paid off. He's so complete. His timings are so great. His positional awareness is amazing. His nade usage was also so his nade usage wasn't like groundbreaking actually. I think it's one area where you could improve. I think Flusha has the best grenades in the game right now, and coldzera had just like okay ones. I never saw him making like plays where it was like oh my god, like he just flashed like 3 of them and it's like now he can kill them all or anything like that. It's not like flashes are going to be as effective against good teams because there's oftentimes players using like anti-flash positions and whatnot, so you can't always just rely on that. But it's not like he was throwing like great Molotovs or HE grenades usually either. But regardless, like it doesn't matter. I mean, you can always improve on things, but like he is so precise and he's so his aim actually doesn't actually seem like it's really really good actually. What am I even saying? It's really good, but his reaction time and aim weren't like oh my god like crazy good. They were really good, but it's just like he pretty much has the best positioning in Counter-Strike right now. I think I don't think there's anyone I reviewed that had better positioning than him. I think Train is Train is easily SK's best map. So that's another reason he's so good at it. They practice it all the time. He goes over all these scenarios and situations with his team, so he's really aware of what to do all the time. But there's no way he practiced holding a 1-on-4, standing on the bomb train at B, and like making those precise peaks and stuff like that's just stuff that he has to know on his own. And he's so good at it. Just an insane player, coldzera. I don't even know where to stop. Just like he's really got it all. He does have the aim. His reaction is pretty sick. His spray control is really good too. His mid-round awareness is really good too. Like you basically put together all the parts of like other great players, and you get Frankenstein coldzera. Like it's just crazy. So that's my analysis of him. I think if you want to really learn about how to play like him, which I feel like everyone should aspire to do, I think you should probably try to watch this over again, round by round, and see what kind of... You got to look at the radar, and you got to look at his positioning, and you got to think about what kind of comms he's likely getting. You probably, if you want to download this demo, it's from ELEAGUE Season 2, NaVi versus SK. You just have to look that up on HLTV. I made a video about how to get a demo from HLTV, so you should look at that if you're having trouble. And you really should just watch this POV on your own. You might want to slow things down. I might on my own time watch the other spots he plays and just slow them down, see how he plays it, because anything he's playing is like probably played to near perfection at this point. Unless there's some like groundbreaking meta shifts, this guy is like on top of everything. I don't even think you can potentially like shift it away from this guy. He's just so dominant. It's just it's actually crazy. That's it. I'm just like fanboying right now. I don't even think I underestimated coldzera, but I'm still overwhelmed by how precise and how good this guy is. So that's my analysis of him. Honestly, not as much as I even would want to say, because I think I could just keep going on and on, but I'd be here for another 10 minutes talking about each play he made. But yeah, that's it. coldzera, best player in the game right now, no doubt about it. Can clutch around for you, can hold anything. He never seems to get overwhelmed by a situation. Nothing's too big for him to tackle. He should be wearing that "I will not lose" tag. He could be. I mean, like, honestly, he's just never gonna lose. It just doesn't feel like it's possible. I didn't even pick like a game where it was like I knew he was going crazy in it. I just picked one where he had a good rating, and it was still this impressive. So, all right, that's it. Thanks for watching, guys. This concludes my 16 episode series on pro player analyses. I hope you enjoyed. I hope that if you watch this, you're now able to watch the ELEAGUE Major with a little bit more understanding about what is going on when you're not watching the casters. I mean, when you're not watching the VOD, like when you're like, what can you gain? What can you think about like now when you watch a pro game on Twitch? Like now you're seeing like what is Cold probably doing when he's getting like a 2K on the other side of the map and you don't even see it. What is Nico doing early in a round on CT side? I just hope that now you kind of understand their player tendencies, and try to learn from them. If you want to improve your game, you should try to you could try to pick a player in the series, and you can watch more of their demos on your own time, and then you can see which player kind of fits my style and which player can I aspire to be more like. And you can take a little bit from everyone. You can take a lot from certain players if you want. I would not take too much from like honestly, everyone played pretty well. Like I think the worst demo I reviewed was maybe like Dennis or World Edit, and I still think you can learn stuff from that. I think World Edit plays a very efficient style. I think Dennis plays like a really. I think his pistol rounds are really cool to watch. I don't know about many of his other rounds. He seemed kind of uncomfortable at his spot. Like so Dennis and coldzera were playing I think the same spot. coldzera is just completely another level. So you can compare and contrast those kind of things. Yeah, that's all I have to say. Thanks for watching, guys. Really actually enjoyed making this, so might do one again in the future, something similar. I'd love to hear suggestions in the comments or anything, on Twitch all the time too, so or on my ESEA page, anything. But thanks, guys. Hope you enjoyed.